everybody, Mark, aka The Nerdy Punk, back again today for a new video. Today I want to bring you another vinyl video. I did a video like 2-3 weeks ago where I went through some of my records that I picked up in the past few months or so. And although it hasn't been a focus on the channel in the past like 6 months all that much, I still, have been collecting records, still enjoy buying records. And so I wanted to show you some other records that I picked up in the past, roughly past year or so. And today I want to focus on a record label called Fueled by Ramen, which put out a lot of really good pop-punk alternative music in the 2000s and into the 2010s. And last year, in 2021, they celebrated their 25th anniversary, and in celebration of that, they re-released a lot of their most popular albums on vinyl. Now, I did not get all of them, but I have here 6 of those releases that I want to show you, some of my favorite albums that Fueled by Ramen has put out. They just so happened to do this special release for them. So, without further ado, let's get started. First album that I want to show you is Fall Out Boy, Take This to Your Grave, which is the first Fall Out Boy album. It came out in 2003, and this is, I think, if I had to pick, this is my favorite Fall Out Boy record. It's just a classic pop-punk album. It's far from what they are today, which is very mediocre pop rock, in my opinion. Really like this record. And every record that they put out has this special hype sticker with the Fueled by Ramen 25th anniversary silver vinyl edition. All of these are silver to celebrate that anniversary. And then there's the back. I'm going to go ahead and take this plastic off because there's a lot of glare going on. So there you go. There's the record there. And for those of you who are not fans of this album or are not super familiar with it, this was out of print on vinyl for such a long time, and a lot of these records, they came out in kind of the worst time for vinyl ever, which was the 2000s. The 90s and the 2000s were single-handedly the worst eras for vinyl records, because it's before, the kind of resurgence that's happened in the 2010s and on. And, this is the heyday of CD. So you can find all of these records really cheaply on CD, but you couldn't find them on vinyl for years, and if you did, they were super expensive. So people were paying like $200 to get this record on vinyl, whenever it wasn't, a re-release. So I think this is one that kind of sold out several times. I don't know what the limitations are in terms of these presses, like if they were limited to a certain amount, but this has been in and out of stock on their website several times. So if you're interested, I would definitely look to see if you can still pick it up. I think a lot of these are still available. And then here's the inner sleeve, custom inner sleeve for this one. There's that. And then, of course, silver vinyl with the label there, and same on the other side. So these all have very similar looks to them, so I'm not going to run through every single one, like show you everything about it, but I'm just going to show you all of these albums. Next one I picked up is Riot by Paramore, another classic pop-punk record from the 2000s. There's that hype sticker there. And then you see the label on the back, and also a silver vinyl. I'm not sure if this one comes with any inserts. Yes, there was a custom inner sleeve, I believe so. Or no, this was an insert. This was not a custom inner sleeve. I think this one came with a poly-lined inner sleeve. So yeah, here's the inserts for this one. Okay. Next up, I picked up Gym Class Heroes, As Cruel as School Children. Very good album. I love Gym Class Heroes. That's one of my kind of guilty pleasures from the like late 2000s, early 2010s. This was a band that I listened to quite a bit. It had very much a hip-hop, pop-punk, kind of fusion going on. This is a band that is very much connected with its time. I think they disbanded in like the early 2010s, but you never hear from these guys anymore. Like, they fell off the face of the earth. But Travie McCoy, who was like the leader of this group, he was everywhere in like the early 2010s, late 2000s, and then he just kind of, like I said, fell off the face of the earth. But there's that silver vinyl. I went ahead, this is a sleeve that I have, so this did not come with the record. I went ahead and used that sleeve. And then we have the inserts there and the lyrics on the back. Next one, this is one of my personal favorite albums of the 2010s. I loved this album when it was popular. This was the time that I listened to popular music. I remember when this song, well, one of the songs from this album was #1 on the Billboard, and I was like a big fan of it, so it was a big deal to me back in the day. This is Some Nights by Fun. Nice indie pop band. Again, a band that you don't hear from anymore. Like, they vanished off the face of the earth after this album. This album was huge back in the day. Of course, it has the song Some Nights, it has Carry On, and it has the big hit We Are Young from this album as well. And this one has a gatefold, which is pretty cool. And this came with a CD copy of the album as well, which I thought was interesting, just kind of thrown in there like that. So, I don't know if every version of this vinyl, or of this album on vinyl, had that, or what was going on with that, why it came with that, but... And then here is the record. Again, the silver. And then we have an insert in here as well. And this is like a poster style insert. So you have this picture of the band on one side, and then you have all of the lyrics on the other side. So that's a great one. Really like that one. Next up, this is an album that it kind of came out towards the end of my like peak interest in popular music at the time. But I remember really enjoying this, and there's a couple songs on here that I really enjoyed, and this is 21 Pilots with Blurry Face. Another classic album from that alternative rock world. A little bit of hip-hop influences with this band as well. Not like a humongous fan of them, but I do enjoy their work. And then the cool thing about this one, so this is die cut, and this thing here slides out, this poster and kind of plastic sheet. So yeah, you have this colored plastic, and then you have the artwork, and then you have that on that side. I'm not sure if that's how like the standard release is for this album. I obviously did not have it when it originally came out. And then you just have these inner sleeves. I need to replace those. But yeah, that's 2 records in here, both on silver vinyl. And then, last but certainly not least, we have Panic at the Disco with A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. Another absolute classic alternative pop-punk record from the 2000s. Panic at the Disco these days, really just Brendan Urie. Not the hugest fan of them anymore, but I think Brendan Urie still has a lot of talent. It just doesn't feel like a band anymore. I wish he would kind of drop that name and go under his own name for like a solo career. I think he could do some really interesting things, but I feel like they're kind of stuck in a rut at this point with their last couple albums. I think there's some decent songs on those albums, but it just doesn't feel anywhere close to what it was with the first 2 to 3 Panic records. But this one is by far their best, in my opinion. Not even close. And then this is a Gatefold, but again, just a single record. So there's that. And then the record here. Silver vinyl, custom label. And another poster style, much bigger poster style of insert. Like, this is something you could put up on the wall. It's pretty cool. Don't know if that's all in frame there, but that is the poster. And then you have lyrics and some artwork on the back. So, a very cool insert and packaging with that particular album. So, I thought that was a really cool kind of reissue series that came out through that company last year. And I really enjoyed picking those up, and it's kind of cool to see kind of the overarching theme and some of the different records that came out that were really popular, you know, from my youth, from times that bring me quite a bit of nostalgia. So I really enjoyed those. Go ahead and leave me some thoughts down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, definitely, you know, leave me a like. Stay tuned for future content. I do hope to have, you know, a few more vinyl record videos mixed in there with my normal kind of movie content that I've been really doing in the past year or so, or couple years. So anyway, hope you guys have a great night. See you later.